So over the last couple of months, I've been searching for a running shoe that has a bunch of cush underfoot that would fit my daily training and also easy day needs. Now there is the Fresh Foam More version 4, and I enjoyed running in that for a little bit, but honestly that is just a bit overkill and I found it pretty clunky even on my easy runs. But fortunately, I think I found the shoe, as well as I think it might be one of the best running shoe if you're a heavier runner, and that is the ASICS Gel Nimbus 25. This thing has been an absolute dream, but there's a couple of little things just are a little bit annoying, so let's get into the video. And spitting out stats is boring, so read the stats on the screen here with this cute dog on the screen. I'll leave it up for 5 seconds. So clearly this thing is much different than what you had in the Gel Nimbus 24, and for all positive reasons. The Gel Nimbus 24 is a fine shoe. I like it for walking around in, but for running, I could never really find my groove in it. I found that the forefoot cushioning just bottomed out too fast and it wasn't inspiring at all. I found the gel in the heel to be rock solid, and honestly, the looks of it, I'm no New York fashionista, but that thing just it ain't it. And everything they've done to the 25 for me has been nothing but positive, so that is a great thing. And one of the best changes they've made for me is the upper. Now, the upper lockdown in this thing has been absolutely fantastic. I have a pretty average sized foot, and I do find that there's a little bit of room, but that little bit of room doesn't result in a bunch of sliding around or any hot spots. But if you are someone that has a bit of a wider foot, you might consider their wide foot options. They do have that as well. The gusseted tongue in this thing does a fantastic job of locking down. The lacing system is fantastic, and the padding that they have around the heel, now it might honestly get a little bit hot once summer comes, but for right now, in the Canadian winters, it's been absolutely fantastic. The one gripe though is this pull tab is a bit excessive here in the heel. Not quite sure what the deal is. It's quite, I don't know, it's definitely practical, but I don't know. The upper is super comfortable, has a great soft feeling on my foot, has a great lockdown. I have nothing but great things to say about that. And the pull tab thing, it's honestly great at what it's there to do, which is to help you put your shoe on. For me, the aesthetic look just of it is, I don't know, I don't really like it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and you might absolutely love this pull tab, and I won't judge you for that. Maybe a little. Now the midsole on this thing is also completely changed. They've added some stack height, they've taken away the visible gel. The gel is still there, I think, but honestly folks, if it's still there, it feels much different than how it felt in the Gel Nimbus 24. It's a completely different sensation underfoot. And that additional stack height is so welcome for me. They still use the same foam, which is the FFBlast Plus, but because of the additional stack height, the additional volume of it, it just feels so much better. It's almost like this thing right here. It almost feels like a non-plated version of the Metaspeed Sky. I haven't tried the Metaspeed Sky Plus, and honestly, even saying that this shoe feels a little bit like this shoe, I'm questioning my sanity, but that's kind of how it feels. Now, I might just be on some sort of magic mushroom thinking that that feels similar, but honestly, that's the first thing that I thought of when I put this shoe on. I don't want to draw many comparisons, but if you tried the Fresh Foam More version 4, in that shoe, I feel like I'm kind of falling backwards on the heel, and I couldn't get into a great running rhythm. With this thing, the geometry of the midsole is perfect. It allows me to get through my strides smoothly, it allows me to find a good rhythm, and the midsole is not so soft that I'm falling directly into it. It allows me to keep my cadence up. And this shoe is going to be for that daily training and easy day miles for me, and the midsole on this thing has been so great for that purpose. It also has quite a wide volume, so if you're like me and need a little bit of stability but don't want all these crazy rods holding up your foot, the wide landing platform on this thing does a fantastic job at that inherent stability. The one gripe I will say about the midsole is that because there is so much volume underfoot, it can feel clunky at times, but nothing crazy. But if I had to just critique just a little bit, because nothing in this world is perfect, the midsole on this thing can feel clunky at times. So the midsole on this thing, absolutely fantastic. And I think especially for you heavier runners, it's gonna hit a bit of a sweet spot, because it's not gonna be so soft that you're gonna compress it and just feel like you're running through some sort of clay. It's gonna be able to absorb that shock, give you that little bit of extra support that you need, and just have fun while running, because that's what we need. We need to have fun when we're out there running, otherwise we're not gonna go run, and that's a fact. I'm not even gonna comment on the outsole, because honestly, I haven't really noticed it. Am I a bad shoe reviewer? Probably, but this is just opinions. So like I mentioned, I think this shoe would be absolutely fantastic if you're a heavier runner. I know for me personally, when I was well over 300 pounds starting my running journey, this would have been a shoe that I would have gravitated towards. Now, I would highly recommend for any running shoe that you try, Now, I would highly recommend for any running shoe to go to the running store and try it on your foot. Do a couple of strides around the mall, or better yet, if the running shoe store has a policy that will allow you to buy it and try it for a bit, definitely do that. Or if you're forced to buy online, find a place that you can buy online that has a great return policy. There are a couple of great ones that I'm sure you can find one that will allow you to just run like maybe even just a kilometer or two to make sure that even just a kilometer or two to get a feeling for the shoe, it makes a massive difference. In terms of value for this thing, it's coming in at 210 Canadian dollars, which is definitely steep. I do think that this shoe is built pretty well and should last a bit, but 210 Canadian dollars, it's just the price we're gonna have to pay for good running shoes now. So overall, the Gel Nimbus 25 has been an amazing shoe for me so far. It's been the only shoe that I've been running in over the last few weeks. I've just enjoyed every mile I've put into it, and it's doing everything I need right now in my training. So right now, I'm trying to get those base miles in, get back to a point where I can train hard, and the Gel Nimbus 25 is eating up those miles for those daily paces. And honestly, I've been picking up the pace a bit sometimes when I'm getting a little bit bored, and it does the job for that as well. All right, folks, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Have you tried this shoe? Or if you have any questions about this shoe, leave them in the comment section down below. Or better yet, if you want to contact me directly, hit up the Discord, link in the description down below. That is all free.